Radio 1 FM 90 is brought to you by Stanbic Bank.
Hello, a very warm welcome to Spectrum on Radio 1.
My name is Edmond, Kizito, your host. Tonight on Spectrum, we continue focusing on the violence and irregularities that marred the Kampala local council elections. What measures the candidates and the police taking to avoid a repeat? Today, mayoral candidates continue to vent their anger against the Electoral Commission and the police for the violence and irregularities that marred the now postponed local council elections. They were joined by journalists who also criticized the police for watching haplessly as stick-wielding goons beat them up. The police have also been accused of not arresting those involved in the rigging and other forms of malpractice, which sparked off the violence that ensued. Some members of the public have accused the police of being partisan, saying the force tried to use its might to protect those implicated in violence and election fraud. The opposition is also saying the police targeted opposition agents who were arrested from different parts of the capital as they met to plan how to oversee the elections. On its part, the police force has indicated that so far some 101 people have been arrested and blamed politicians for organizing militias and hooligans to disrupt the elections. Currently, each mayoral candidate has gone back to the drawing board to devise new measures to ensure their vote is protected in the event that the Electoral Commission sets a date for the elections as it is wont to do. The police and the Electoral Commission are also back on the drawing board to make new arrangements both at the security level as well as the organizational level. So tonight we continue to look at stakeholders in this process to try and understand better what caused the problems and how prepared officials are to avoid similar incidents happening. We'll also seek to know the fate of people arrested, given the fact that their relatives are saying they are innocent. Our guests tonight have Assistant Superintendent of Police Emilian Kayima, who is the political commissar for the Kampala Metropolitan Police. You're most welcome indeed, Mr. Kayima.
I'm honored to be on Spectrum once again. Thank you.
We also expect to be joined us by one of the mayoral candidates, Honorable Michael Mabiike. Mr. Kayima, to begin with, what exactly led to the mayhem in the Kampala mayoral elections?
Thank you very much, Edmond. Good evening, listeners. My name is Emilian Kayima once again. We regret the incidents that happened in the mayor race in Kampala. It's nasty. After very successful, peaceful presidential and parliamentary elections, we didn't deserve that as a country, as a city. However, it happened. What happened? Well, you've explained what happened. Crime. People took the law into their hands to vent their anger onto those they suspected to have engaged into electoral malpractices. And so much happened in there. It's unfortunate that members of the public, the media, would really want to turn the spotlight onto the police as the bad guys. Maybe that's not balanced, but I should be able to explain. One, we got numerous calls from different people, very vigilant people, that a cross-section of individuals in Kampala had chosen to staff the ballot boxes. And we swung into action, and we found it was true, and we took action. Now, one cross-section among the candidates, those who are vigilant, and before we even explain this, I want to thank people who are vigilant, who are able to see this and say, no, this cannot happen. Unfortunately, the overtones of engaging into violence, that's where we miss it as a country, as a people. If they had informed us and they let us take action, and I will explain as things unfolded, it was not that bad. Let's see what happened. As we received information that people had stuffed ballot boxes as early as 5 from the different reports, we swung into action and we found that there were anomalies, gross anomalies in different places, like Bat Valley, the polling station at Bat Valley, like the public library, and we went there. Fortunately, I went there. Of course, with other commanders. What did we see? What we saw was not pleasing to see. Ballot boxes have so many ballot papers, and the community around that, those who are vigilant enough said, no, this is stuffing, we cannot accept this. We called in Electoral Commission, and Electoral Commission officials came. They took the matter into their hands. Fortunately, they even went to the level of saying, let's see what is there. And the public was listening, starting now to cool down, because maybe they trusted now action is going to be taken. After discovering that there were gross anomalies, the Electoral Commission took it upon themselves to close that center, Bat Valley. And people said, this cannot happen. We need to move to other places because we are getting information. The other places were also tampered with. And we moved in as teams. And we discovered, yes, there were anomalies. And the Electoral Commission kept closing one center after the other. Now, at this level, we thought that members of the public would not take the law into their hands. Unfortunately, some young men have done campaigns on this radio, on other media programs against violence. But again, politicians have a bone to pick with politicians. You have a bone to pick with maybe the police and others. We need to calm down and discuss. Young people chose to batter those they thought were conniving with other people to do this, to commit this crime. And there, some people were assaulted, brutally beaten, and we arrested them. And that's the law. We apprehended them. Now, even when you do that, some members of the public have a fear. Maybe you need to join them to revenge, to vent your anger. No, that's not the procedure. We apprehended those that were involved into this, including presiding officers that were involved into this, including those men, those young men who are wielding sticks, beating others. We apprehended them, and whoever was involved in that. We moved from one center to the other, and at some level, we discovered that as we interacted with them, they cooled down. At one point, in some area, I wouldn't want to mention some of these areas because the politicians would jump onto us and say, you know, you biased onto this. We moved to some level and we found some men who had destroyed electoral materials, and they were the aggressors, but the aggressed didn't take the law into their hands, and I want to commend them for that. What they chose to do, they chose to invite the police and say, police, you either help us or we'll take the law into our hands. And that's commendable. We apprehended them as well. One young man who was allegedly involved into that ran into somebody's house, and I was there, somewhere in Rubaga. And the young man said, the police, he has run into this house. You either get him or we can get him ourselves. He said, no. Once you have cited that, you've done us a favor. We can get him. And we did get him. He's with us in the police. The CID section, I believe, will leave no stone unturned to make sure that those who are involved in masterminding, in fulfilling this crime, will be apprehended. That we can assure Ugandans. The politicians. Now, some politicians will change the words, will speak so well, and people are likely to believe them, but sometimes they don't have the facts to allude to their talk. When they form these sections, one section against the other, they are losing the point. And the Ugandans, I believe, are maturing slowly but steadily. And the politicians are bound to be politically slaughtered in the ballot box. Not to be killed, but they will not vote for you if they perceive that you are the leader who champions these goons these younger men to pounce on others and commit crimes. They will not vote for you. And once they don't do that, we will be happy, because once they vote you in office, maybe you'll be worse, because you have now official power vested into that office. You are likely to commit worse crimes. And who is going to ask for accountability if you can do that?
All right.
Now, I'm not pointing out any politician,
Yes,
because we have not fully investigated this. I can assure Ugandans, and I want to ask them, keep asking us as the police, how far have you gone? Let it not be talk. It has ended,
right.
It has gone. If the presidential and parliamentary were that clean,
right.
What is it that stops us from making this very clean?
All right, Honorable Mabiike.